Hey folks, John here with another Easy Options Trade recap. It's been a little bit, it's been I think 3 weeks since I posted a video, so I wanted to get one out. I've been super busy with work, family life, baseball practices. So anyways, I found time to do one, so here it is. Let's get going. Hey, and if you like these videos and want to tag along on my trading journey, just hit that subscribe button and notification bell, and that way you will receive a notification every time I post a new video. Alright, let's get into the recap. Alright folks, here we are. This is my trade recap sheet for the past 3 weeks. What I did is I categorized these and grouped them into rows. So this row, for instance, are my S&P 500 trades. This row here is AMD. This is Intel, Big, and these last two are Chewie. I did a bunch on Chewie, and a few of them are kind of minuscule, where they were just a contract kind of on accident, but I'll go over that in a second. So when you total all this up, it's 2903, so just under 3,000 bucks. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. For the past 3 weeks, it's around 1,000 a week, and note that I wasn't pushing my buying power hard at all. The market is up so high that I've been very cautious and worried about getting stuck in anything, because if you're selling option premium, especially naked, you need to be prepared to roll if you're going to get into them. At least I am. I typically do not like to take a loss, so I would always want to roll out of something if I can. So you do need to be aware of the risk when you're doing that. Alright, so let's get into the trades. Alright, let's start with the S&P 500 trades. So the first one was in the futures. I'm just going to talk about this one for the sake of time. This basically was a call credit spread, and what happened is the market after hours, futures trade after hours into the night through the morning, so it kept creeping up steadily, just climbing. It was just it looked unstoppable. So I think at 11 or 12 at night, before I went to bed, I decided to take it off, and I really think that was a smart thing to do. In the end, though, I did sleep soundly. The credit spread actually would have worked out. So it pulled back nicely during the night, like shortly after I went to sleep, and yeah, it would have worked out. But it is what it is, and I am still happy that I took it off, because it could have been a much bigger loss if I would have woken up and it just had slammed through my strike price. So that's the futures trade. The other three are for SPX. So these were also spreads. This was a put spread, this was a credit spread, and another put spread. So you can see what I collected here for each of those. Let me pull up the chart here. Okay, so here we are. This was the put spread I did. So here you sell the top leg and you buy the bottom. And I legged into this. So the market popped up and then it kind of pulled back. And in here, right when this candle started, these are an hourly candle, by the way, I sold the put spread. So it was advantageous because the market had pushed down a bit. So I sold that here and ended up buying that back for 5 cents, not much later in the day, because you can see the market popped up nicely. Now when the market popped up here, I also sold a call spread towards the end of the day. And by the way, these expire on the day. These are 0 days till expiration trades, so they basically expire that day. And so I sold this call spread. It wasn't a big trade. I only sold it for 20 cents, and I also bought that back for 5 cents. So they weren't huge trades, but a little money in the account. Now the next one on the 24th, which I believe was a Monday, because this was the 21st, right? I ended up selling the same spread, but instead of being a call spread above the price, it was below it at this point because the market had gapped up. So in here, the market popped and it pulled back, and I sold it here, okay? And or I think it was somewhere in here. I forget exactly which time, but anyways, I sold this put spread now, the 3,410 and the 3,405. And I collected the same thing, 30 cents, and ended up buying it back for 5 cents. And you see this huge pop at the end of the day, which if you had the call side, you very likely got stopped out. And I heard about some people getting stopped out. And I felt the market might keep going up, so I stayed away from the call side. I was thinking about it, and I said, no, I'm just going to stick to the put side. But anyways, that totally worked out for me, and through this big push, I was able to easily get out for 5 cents. All right, next up is AMD, one of my favorites. So AMD, I sold some naked puts, the 81 strike, actually both times, and I collected $256 and then $292 later. So let me go show you these trades. The first one was on the 24th. So right here on the 24th, I sold the 81 strike put. I saw a nice pullback in the stock, so I decided to enter. I really like AMD, and they've been very, very bullish, so I feel comfortable in the stock. So again, I sold that here, and I bought that back. That was on the 24th. I bought it back on the 28th, which is right here. And I believe that was a Friday. So I think I bought that back for 2 cents. So that's really super solid. It was 4 contracts, not a lot. But yeah, sold for 66 cents, bought back for 2. And then the second one I'll show you on the 28th. I put it on again, so I bought it back that Friday and I decided to re-enter. I really could have just rolled, but I just decided to take it off and re-enter anyways. Yeah, so I sold the 81 put again, and that was for 86 cents, and I ended up buying it back the next Monday for 13 cents. So let's look at that. So on the 28th, which was right here, so I sold that again. Way down here, I was able to get 66 cents. And I thought that was a really good value. And you can see it just popped up beautifully on Monday. So from Friday to Monday, I love this. I was able to get out for like 85% or 90% or something like that. So really, really happy with AMD. That was an awesome trade, and I got a really nice pop that I got to take advantage of. Okay, next up is Intel. Now, I hadn't traded this one in a while, but I'm really happy I did. It turned out to be a really good trade. It's another one like AMD where I was able to put it on Friday and take it off on Monday. So basically over the weekend money, which I love. So let's check that out. It was the 49.5 put, and I ultimately kept 155 bucks. So this is the weekly chart. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. That'll help. So I liked the way this was looking, folks. This had I've got a long-term trend line on, and you can see it's bounced here and it's bounced again, so it's really respected that, and it's come off of it, and you can see there's a lot more that it could come up. So I think it was right about in here, and I felt confident that it was going to come up a little bit more. So I didn't have anything holding me back from putting on a trade where I was bullish to the upside and willing to manage the position if it went against me. So let's go into the hourly chart here, and let me zoom in for you. Let me scoot this over real quick. Okay, so here you can see I timed this perfectly. It happened right in the morning. I put this on, and Intel had this huge push up and just consolidated, and then it was looking really good. It gapped. It looked like it was going to gap up high the next day, but Intel's a bit volatile, and you can see it kind of opened up not too much higher. So kind of a small gap up, if anything. So anyways, I was actually able to take it off in this push up the next Monday. I was able to get out of there for, like I said, I think it was just around 65% of the potential credit I collected. So yeah, that's Intel. Alright, now let's talk about BIG. This is a pretty cool one. I hadn't traded this stock before, so it was kind of exciting for me. BIG is Big Lots, and they had earnings on the 28th of August, so I decided to sell some puts below the price just before earnings, and I was able to get out right before earnings, and I made just over 50% of my money. You can see I made $320, sold 65 cents, 10 of those, and bought back for 33 cents. Okay, so here's the 21st where I initiated puts. You can see how far away it was. So I thought this was a really good deal. The premiums were inflated because earnings were coming up, and BIG actually continued to grind up all the way up until earnings, which is exactly what you would prefer to happen if you're doing an earnings trade. Now, since I was able to get out right here for just over 50%, I took it off and got rid of the risk of the stock having a massive gap down and going below my strike, and me having to deal with managing that and all that. So I was really happy with my decision to get out. Now it looks like I would have been totally fine. You can see it still hasn't touched my strike, and I believe, I forget exactly when the expiration was, but I think it might have been the August expiration, the end of August. So it turned out to be a really good trade, but it would have worked out either way. But again, there's nothing wrong with taking profit, and I think I made a really good decision doing that. Alright, now I'm excited to talk about Chewie, which was by far my favorite stock of the past 3 weeks, especially the very last week. I just totally killed it on some calls. So let's go over the puts first. Here I have some single contract trades. I'm not going to go over these. These were really trades that I had put orders out, and I only got filled on like one contract, and I didn't even realize. And ultimately they worked out fine, but you can see it was just one contract, so it was just like 45 bucks here, 46 bucks there. So I'm going to go over these here. These right here are the two put trades that I put on, one on the 21st and then one on the 28th. So the one on the 21st I was able to put on and take off on the 27th. Okay, so that's right here. You can see I sold the 53 put. And I knew Chewie had earnings coming up, and they still actually haven't happened. So I knew there was a good chance Chewie was going to hold its ground or maybe grind up even more. It's very high, but this is a stock that's done very well, or company that's done very well in the environment that we're in right now. So anyhow, I sold this, and like I said, on the 27th, on the Thursday, I bought this back for 33 cents. So I got about half of it back, about 50%, and got 320 there. So that was really solid. And the next one I sold for 75 cents and got back for 24 cents, and that is right here on the following Friday. So I bought back the first tranche here, and on this Friday, for the options expiring next Friday, I sold the 57 puts, and you can see Chewie popped up really nicely for me and went even crazier. So it was really easy to buy him back, and I think I bought him back on that Monday. Let me check. Yeah, 31st Monday, I bought him back for 24 cents. So that was somewhere over 60% of the credit just over the weekend. So super happy to take off the risk and collect my money. So the really cool ones are these calls here, and I went pretty heavy here. I guess I'll actually go over this one contract call. So what happened here is this day was huge for Chewie. Okay, Chewie was so overextended. If you looked at the daily or the weekly chart, it was just straight up. It was nuts. I felt very confident that this was not going to go much higher during the week. So right in here, I saw this nice hourly candle, and I decided to put on an order for the 80 strike puts. Calls. And what happened is I went off and was working, and I didn't even notice. At the end of the day, I looked at my account and I go, what the heck? I have the Chewie calls, and I noticed it was just one contract. So what happened is I got filled for just one contract at one point, and I was in. But you know, I wasn't even sure about that, because the next day I was going, oh shoot, I wonder if I screwed up, because you see what happened here. Chewie popped up at the beginning of the day, and I thought, oh my gosh, did I get myself into trouble here? And actually, in this pop-up, what I decided to do, since I was only in one, I wanted to commit. I still thought Chewie was super overextended, and again, they have earnings coming up and everything, so the volatility was pretty high. I got all the way out to the 90 strike, and I sold those for 75 cents. No, excuse me, down here. I sold at one tranche of 10 contracts for 40 cents, and then I sold another for 45 cents. So like an average of 42, 43 cents. And you can see that I collected a ton of money in a really quick amount of time. Oh, these dates aren't right, but whatever. I put it on 9/2, and I think I took them off on 9/4. So let me correct that here. It should be like this, like so. So yeah, I put these on the 2nd, and right here, so all the way out here. I mean, it was like 95% out of the money probability. It was an incredible trade. Premium was great, so I had to do it, and I went in pretty heavy. So I ended up having 20 contracts, minus this one here. Call this 21, but 20 contracts of the 90 call strike, and Chewie just relaxed beautifully, and I was able to get out of these for 2 cents. I got out of all of them for 2 cents a piece. So loved that trade. It went just like I wanted. Super happy with it. You can see I made some solid money in just a couple days, 380 and 430. So this last week, this last week I made just over 1,500 bucks. So last week was awesome, and it turned out to be super awesome just because I spotted this Chewie opportunity. So sometimes that'll happen. You'll just go on. I wasn't having a huge week. It was going to be a decent week, but I saw this opportunity and just decided to pounce on it hard and felt really confident in it. And it turned out to be a big fat like $1,500 week. That really provided a lot of the dough for this 3-week period. So anyways, that's Chewie. Alright folks, well I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this content and again want to tag along with me on my trading journey, just do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to click the notification bell so anytime I make a video and post it, it will notify you and you can watch it right away. Alright folks, I hope you enjoyed and I'll talk to you soon.